Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. We're at the Brockton High School, George M. Romm Little Theater. This is the bid review subcommittee meeting. It's Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. We originally started at 5:30, but we had technical difficulties. We're starting again at 6. In addition to attending, the public can view this meeting via television on Comcast Channel 08 in /1071 HD version and online via the link www.youtube.com/TheBrocktonChannels. The agenda is as follows. Item 1, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Item 2, establish a quorum. Tim Sullivan, the chair, is here. Jorge Vega.
Here.
Claudio Gomes.
Here.
Joyce Azak.
Here.
We have 100% in attendance. Item 3 is the overview of the bid review process. We have with us tonight the Chief Procurement Officer, Mr. Michael Morris, from the City of Brockton. Mike, if you would like to take over and explain how the RFP works and it was sent out and the dates and things.
Sure. So I was asked by the school department to assist with the procuring of the lease of space for a bus depot. A draft bid was put together and went through a number of different revisions and finally advertised and made available as of September 4th. By law, the bid has to be available for at least 30 days, so the deadline was set for Friday, October 4th at 11 a.m. The bid opening was held at the school department central office. 10 other people showed up to watch the bid opening. Unfortunately, we only received one bid in which to open, and that bid was submitted by BAS Holding Corp. And I will take any questions.
I have one, Mike, Mr. Morris. That is for a 3-year bid.
This is for a 1-year lease with 2 1-year option to extend.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, Mr. Morris? Mr. Vega?
So with that understanding, 1 year with 2 years, 2-year options in place, could the committee revisit the conversation and possibly do another bid in a year?
Yes, it's the school department's sole option to extend, so yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Azak?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Morris. So the RFP that was put out was similar to the RFP that we did years ago. And we had gone over this. It states like the property should be in Brockton. We might, as a committee in the future, expand to maybe surrounding cities and towns, because to find a lot or lots that are going to fit our needs. Because I mean, looking at these bid amounts, it's pretty high. It's a high lease. I get it for parking vehicles in a small building, a 2,000 square foot building. So I mean, thank you. In the previous meeting, you had gone over some of the information with us as far as what we're looking for. But so this needs to, right now, this needs to go into effect as of October 1st for the 2024 to the June 30th, 2025.
Yes.
Okay. And then,
So as far as where the property should be located, that's an excellent idea to consider, but this was put out as a bid and not an RFP, and it is listed in the general terms and conditions that the property must be located in Brockton.
okay,
So it's definitely can consider it going forward.
definitely, especially where we only had one bidder.
Yes.
And given it's a sizable amount that we're paying. So and if we've already done this for 3 years. So I understand, you know, the financial situation that we're all in, but if you look at what we've already spent for 3 years and now we're looking at doing another 3, we're probably looking at a total of maybe 5,000 by the time we're done. I mean, 5 million. We've already put like 2 million by the time we end, and now we're discussing another 3 years. So this is the only bid that we have. So, and we do have to have this because we don't currently. If this wasn't approved and we said put the bid back out, are we all like on a month to month?
considering we only received one bid, I don't think there's probably any other property owners that will
Okay.
submit a bid, but if you did reject this bid, you would have to put some other procurement out, so
Okay. All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Claudio, Mr. Gomes?
Quick question. So we get 1 year lease with 2 renewals, but those 2 renewals are not guaranteed. So let's say, for instance, the landlord was like, okay, you've leased for a year, and they're like, I no longer wish to rent out the space. What's the process?
And did you say the lessor? Or,
Lessor, yes.
They would have to give 12 months notice if they're not going to extend the lease.
Okay, so we would get at least 2 years in the first year, and then the 12-month notice, which would give us another second year.
Yes, correct. Number 5, under the general terms and conditions, says the lessor must issue a 12-month notice to lessee for non-renewal of the lease.
Oh, that's from the RFP.
Yes.
Okay, and then how is the case? Because let's say we decide to put out another RFP for a different property. What's the process on our end if we want to, after 1 year, to say, hey, we no longer wish to lease the property?
I believe it's 60 days prior to the expiration that we would have to notify the lessor.
Okay, so if we leasing for 1 year, within that first year, 60 days prior to the end of the contract, we'd have to notify them that we're not going to be renewing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Vega?
And really, it's more of a clarifying question. Mr. Morris, first off, thank you, because I know that as we've been, preparing to get a new procurement person on the school side, you've been very helpful. And then on a more personal note, I asked very remedial questions off to the sidelines, and you've been very good about answering them. And one of those, moments, because again, when I'm asking questions, a lot of times I know that there are folks at home who have similar questions. So when I hear, oh, we've got a single bid, should we shop around? It was really illuminating to hear, that because we obviously need the depot to be in Brockton, there are actually limited options to begin with. And so, in your opinion, like that kind of might be a factor in why we get one bid, or why somebody might pull back from a bid because they can't meet the requirements, the location requirements, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And it was widely advertised. So like I said, I believe there was some interest in it, but we only received one bid. Thank you. You're welcome.
And Jorge, that bid that we received is where the buses are right now. And we had talked about it before, for a smaller lot, for example, 3 lots for the buses, rather than one, move it around. It never came to fruition, but we did talk about that. And if there's any more questions, we need a motion to accept this bid from anybody.
Make a motion to accept the bid as made.
Second.
A motion has been made to accept the bid as written and properly seconded. All in favor by a show of hands? Bid's accepted. Item 5, any other business to come before the subcommittee? Ms. Azak?
Thank you. Not so much other business, but moving forward with our bid process. So when they have the opening of the bids, if we could at least notify the committee ahead of time, that way one of us can at least be there and be part of the process. Just future bids. And then, oh, I just drew a blank. It was a good one. I apologize. I just drew a blank.
I did see Tony Rodriguez was at this bid review.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be, because I had mentioned it before, like, we should be part of it, or even have it just somewhere where we're all there, or at least have one member, as long as we don't have a quorum, just be present, just for the bid opening process. And then I do apologize. Drawing a blank on my question.
Apology accepted.
But
Items? Yes, Donna?
The bid
Right, right. So, just so you know that this, we're just going to bring it favorable to the full school committee later on tonight.
And Mr. Sullivan, I remembered what I was going to say. So, moving forward, in years past, we would get the bids, and then we would be told, oh, well, this didn't qualify, but these did. When we get the bids, even if they don't qualify, can we see why they didn't qualify? That we have that red line somewhere is, this is why this one, they filled everything properly, just so we have a paper trail as to why certain bids are not moving forward and others are. In years past, we've always just been, they didn't qualify, but never given us a reason why. And just filling out the paperwork is just pretty basic, but sometimes if the proper paperwork or documentation wasn't completely provided, if we can just have that, where we're back to reviewing bids, just so we're a little, we as a committee are a little thorough when it comes to reviewing the bids that come before us. Because I used to always question, well, why didn't they qualify? So if we can just have just a quick note, whether it's Mr. Morris or whoever that's going to be bringing this before us moving forward.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion has been made by Joyce Azak, seconded by Claudio Gomes. The meeting is adjourned by a show of hands. Unanimous. Meeting adjourned.